About a month ago, I've decided to take a motorbike trip by myself from Beijing to Tibet. I've been planning this trip for a long time, and it's just one of those things that felt like a calling, or the will of the soul in a way. I had a lot of conflict within myself before I started the trip. I've never done a motorbike trip at this scale before, and it's giving me a lot of anxiety. And so I was postponing it. I saw that I was doing this, and I thought, I can't let my fears decide my life. So I sucked it up, took off the next day, and never looked back. It was exciting and scary at the same time, which makes it even more exhilarating. I could feel the adrenaline pulsing through my body as the wind blew on my face. I was free from expectations, free from society, free from everything that was holding me back in the external world and within myself. I've never felt this complete in my life. I was whole, thoroughly aligned with my body, soul, and spirit. I was dancing and singing out of joy like a madman to myself on my motorbike, and that went on for days. It came with no surprise that a thrill like that couldn't last forever. Anxiety set in, and I was in doubt again. I started to notice the reality that I was alone in the middle of nowhere. No friends around me, no security. Even if I wanted to give up, I still have to drive all the way back to where I started. And I know for a fact that I'll never forgive myself if I did that. So I did the only thing I could do. I ignored my doubts and pushed on. Gradually, that feeling subsided and I returned to the moment. From this point on, I was at ease. This homeless biking around felt like my new life now. There's no more questions, it just is. The life that I left behind felt far away. I've identified to this new state of being, and I'm happy with where I was. The journey is one of transformation. There is a new realization now, that the momentum of being a certain way can be broken. As Alan Watts once said, you're under no obligation to be the same person you were a year, a month, or even 15 minutes ago. You have the right to grow. No apologies. The transformation can be instantaneous. As you conjure up the courage within yourself to take the first step, the rest will take care of itself. I've always lived in cities my whole life. Only met city people, living city lives, having city thoughts. I didn't know there was such a world outside of that bubble. Driving through what seems like eternity through the natural horizon gave me a new perspective of how lives can be lived closer to nature. As we are one of nature, not so different from the worms and horses strolling around the grassland, struggling for survival, living one day at a time, and hopefully have some joy in between. Through that, I've grown a respect for all life forms on Earth. In my journey, I've encountered so many wonderful people helping me out without asking anything in return. The kindness they gave was from the heart, and that in itself is so profoundly healing. Living in the city, we're used to a kind of trading. As I do something for you, something is expected in return. That could be money or a favor. When we live in that environment for a long time, our hearts grow cold and sterile. We must remind ourselves that there is goodness in the world, and we can try to be a source of it. I finally arrived in Lhasa, Tibet a few days ago, 19 days after I started the trip in Beijing. I've traveled around 4,500 kilometers. When I'm on the road for long hours, I often reach a almost meditative state, where your mind is clear of shadowy thoughts, while simply soaking in the peace and beauty around you. I often ponder about life during my ride. As I see the world pass me by, I think about how life can be lived in so many ways. We don't have to limit ourselves to pursue houses, cars, and marriage. And if we only live this one time, we might as well do the thing that is most meaningful to us. The simple act of pursuing what feels the most right to you in the moment, I think there's some magic to it. It's as if the soul is speaking to you directly with clarity. Just do this. You don't need to know why. You'll be okay. I look forward to the simple life filled with hobbies and people I love. Some altruism here and there to give ourselves to others and to love life wholly and see it for what it is. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope that you follow your heart and soul always.